Hi there, welcome to Jujubee DIY. I'm Sarah. Thanks so much for joining me today. Today I'm bringing you 4 flowery fun springtime DIYs that range in skill level from super easy to intermediate. I have free printables for you and a giveaway. So if you want to see what I made and how I made it and what's in store for today, then let's get started. To get started with our first DIY, we're going to use some of this white polymer clay by CraftSmart. You can pick this up at Michael's, and you don't have to get a big package like I have. They do sell it in smaller packages, but you're just going to break off a piece and play with it until it is a little bit softer. Once you get it to a fairly soft place, then you need to roll it out. So I'm using these jumbo craft sticks or the giant jumbo craft sticks from Walmart. To guide me in how thick I need my clay to be rolled out. So you can use anything round. You can use a paint bottle, or you can use something like this acrylic roller that's made for polymer clay. If you have that on hand, just use whatever you have to get your shape rolled out. And as you can see, it is a flat piece. I'm going to use a jumbo craft stick as a template for my bunny ears. So I'm going to take this X-Acto knife and I'm going to gently cut around the craft stick so that I've got this kind of shape. And then I'm just going to use my fingers to gently soften everything up around the edges and to kind of shape this into a bunny ear. Now you can kind of make it round, or you can kind of bring it down into a point. However you want to make your little ears is perfectly fine. So I have to preface this saying that I had to re-film this because something happened when I went to go upload my video in my computer. Files were deleted and corrupted, and I don't have any idea what happened. It was kind of a shock and a crazy mess, but I am showing you here that using a plastic cup to show you how I just folded it over onto the teacups and tea kettle and sugar bowl that I had gotten from Goodwill. So you don't use a plastic cup for this process. You're going to use whatever it is you're making your bunnies out of. So like I said, I grabbed stuff from the Goodwill. I came home, I gave everything like 3 coats of the Rust-Oleum matte white spray paint, and then went in with chalk paint, 2 to 3 layers of chalk paint. And then once everything was dry, I added my polymer clay and then put that into the oven. And it was fine because this is glassware and it is such a low temperature. It's like 275 for 15 minutes. Didn't affect the paint, didn't make it smell or anything. So I was totally comfortable doing that, and it worked out perfectly well. Everything baked up just fine. So again, I lost the footage of me transferring the face onto each of the items. So I'm using this little wood block to show you how you are going to do that. So you're going to print out your little face. If you want to use these same faces, I will have them available for you. And then you'll just need to use a little bit of graphite paper to transfer those over with your pencil or pen or whatever you want to use to transfer your stuff over with. Next, I'm going to go in with this black paint marker and I'm going to fill in, well actually I'm going to outline everything first, and then I'll fill in like the eyes and the mouth. Going in with a number 0 round brush, I'm going to add in some blue just underneath those black areas for the eyes. And then I'll go in with a number 1 round brush to add the pink nose. Now, any paintbrush that's small will do just fine for this project, but if you're interested in some paintbrushes that I think are decent for the price especially, I will have them linked down below. Now this is just a little round fluffy brush, and I am just dry brushing some pink onto the cheeks using kind of a tapping and circular motion. Using the white paint marker, I'm going to go in and do the very bottom part of the eyes, the teeth, and then add a little eye shine. And then I'll go back in with the black marker and just add in any of those details that were lost with the painting. And there in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, you will see what the teapot looked like originally. All the other pieces were plain white, so I didn't take any pictures of them before the paint jobs, but you can see that that tea kettle has gone through quite a transformation. So now I wanted to decorate the teapot lid, and all I'm doing is adding some dots with a stylus, and I'm using the Hello Hobby chalk paint in the color Swan. So as always, I will leave all of the colors that I'm using in my description box down below, so that if you are interested in any of the colors or anything I'm using, it should be down there. If it's not, you know, just let me know and I will be sure to get back to you and answer your questions. So just leave me a comment or email me. All that information is down below. So we're just going to continue working those dots and making our lid super cute. Now I wanted to also add polka dots to the spout of my tea kettle. And if you've been with me for a while, you know that I love those polka dots, and this probably is not a huge surprise for you. So if you don't like the polka dots, you can do whatever you want on the spout. But I do love those polka dots, so that's what I'm doing. Then I'll go in and add polka dots to the handle of my teapot and also to the handles of the teacups. So now I'm going to go in and add polka dots to the top of the little sugar bowl. And I don't know if that's actually what it is, but that's what I'm going to call it. So, and if I sound a little loopy or like I'm forgetting my words, it's because it's like 1:30 in the morning here. I'm working really hard to get this video out for you guys. It has been a long process. I had to go back in and re-record stuff and then re-edit this whole entire video. So I apologize if I am a little forgetful of my words, because that's probably going to happen more as we go on. I apologize. So we're just going to keep adding those polka dots, and then I will give everything like 3 coats of this Delta ceramic varnish. And as a reminder, you know, once you put paint on this stuff, don't use it. It is for decoration only. So our little teapot here, I painted him in the Waverly chalk paint in steel, and then for his cheeks I just added a little bit of white to lighten that up. For the top there where you can see the flowers, those are actually beads from Michael's, and I think they actually went clearance, unfortunately. So if you can't find them at your Michael's, definitely go over to the paper section and look for the paper flowers, because they have a lot of super awesome options over there. And then for our little tea set here, or for the cups, I painted these guys with a mineral chalk paint from Waverly. Their cheeks are the Swan White from Hello Hobby, and then the plates I just painted plain green, and I thought it would look like they were sitting on grass. And then for the little sugar bowl, he is the Hello Hobby in the Swan White, and then his cheeks and ears are the mineral from Waverly. So here is a look at how these turned out. I love them. I think they turned out so good. I didn't really have anything else to go by, and I wasn't even sure that this project was going to work out in the long run, but I'm so glad it did, and I hope you guys love this and enjoy it too. So for project number 2, I am using this sign that I picked up on clearance last summer from Michael's. I just took all the words off, scraped off all the paper underneath, and then gave it a few coats of the not Waverly chalk paint, in the Hello Hobby chalk paint in the Swan White. I ran out of plaster, and so I've been using that Swan White from Hello Hobby. Now I'm going to go in with a dry chip brush and do some distressing with the mineral from Waverly. And I'll just distress that until I'm happy with how it looks. So just tapping that brush off and then adding the color. And then I decided that I wanted to go in with this kind of blue-green color just to add a little more oomph to it for spring. I thought this would be a really pretty color. So I'm just dry brushing that on as well. So, but before that kind of dried, that blue color, I am going back in with the swan color and just kind of blending out that blue a little bit, which I really loved. I thought that looked really nice, and I liked that it added a little more blue. So if you don't care for it, definitely leave that part out. Of course, anything I do, if you don't like it, you are more than welcome to put your own spin on your projects. That's the great thing about crafting. So these flowers here I picked up at Walmart, and I did a light color in the background and a darker color up top. And then I picked up these letters that are BLM. So we're going to spell out the word bloom on our sign, and we're just going to put our letters in there first, get them where we want them, and then we'll just hot glue those down. So this was originally where I was going to stop, but after looking at it, I thought it definitely needed more. That's kind of how I go with it. So I decided that I wanted to add some greenery and flowers to the top of my sign. So I measured out my sign and found the middle, and now I'm just adding some greenery. And I believe that this is like a pick from Walmart. It's like a berry pick. It's got the yellow berries on it and then a couple different kinds of foliage in with it, and that foliage is from that set, from that pick. And then I have some boxwood there, I think, from Walmart that I'm adding in. So just whatever greenery you have on hand. And then I had these beautiful little tulips from Michael's that matched my colors perfectly. So I decided to just add them into just to add that extra oomph of spring. So I'm just going to keep hot gluing these on at the top here. And yeah, I was pretty happy with how this actually ended up turning out. So I'm going to make a bow, and I was attempting to actually show you guys how I made it. But then I lost part of the footage. So basically what I did is I'm just adding a little bit of hot glue to the end of my ribbon here, and I'm going to fold it over into itself, and that's going to be our center of our bow. And then I'm going to go back and forth in like a figure 8, making each loop a tiny bit bigger than the next. So I'll loop it and then go back down, loop it back, and then do that about 4 times. So you've got 4 different layers, and each loop is a little bit longer than the next. Then I'm going to take some twine, and I am going to tie the middle of it underneath that center part. So where my thumbs are right there, that's where I'm going to tie everything together. So you're going to see it's going to cut off here, but I'm going to show you kind of what I did in a second. So, but basically, I mean, you can kind of see what I'm doing here. Just kind of back and forth. And like I said, I just tied it in the middle, and then I kind of pinched that very top part and kind of glued it together. So there you can see the twine. And then I just kind of hot glued everything, or, you know, the bow right on top in the middle of my greenery there. And then I had these flowers that I thought matched really well. And these are little wood flowers that came at the Dollar Tree at Valentine's Day. So I painted one with the pink and one with the orange, and I added one to each corner. And I thought that just finished off this sign perfectly. And here is a look at our sign. I love those pops of color. They just scream spring to me. So guess what? It's my birthday. And as I'm doing this voiceover, it actually is my birthday. But I just want to thank you guys for being here. You are the best gift that I could ever receive. And I am just so happy to have each and every one of you joining me today. And as a wonderful thank you and birthday gift from me to you, I'm going to gift this little bunny and a couple other little things, goodies, and surprises to one lucky winner. All you got to do is like this video and comment down below, and that gets you entered in to win. And then I'll pick a winner on April 20th. Here's another gift from me to you. It is a free printable. There'll be a link down below in my description box. Click on the link and then you'll be able to print this out for yourself. I'm going to use these Dollar Tree frames. I picked these up at the fall, but I've seen them since. So you should be able to find them. And if you can't, they're just a 5x5 size. All you got to do is cut them out and then put them in your frame. So to create these free printables for you, I used my favorite website, Creative Fabrica. I love Creative Fabrica. You can find so much digital stuff. You can find SVGs, you can find clip art, JPEGs, sublimation prints, you can find fonts. There are so many fonts. And the really awesome thing is that you have full access to everything on their site. And I mean everything. They have classes, they have tools, they have, there's just so much. There's information, there's blogs, and just all kinds of stuff that you get access to when you become a member of Creative Fabrica. So it's a monthly fee. And like I said, you get access to everything. Plus, you also get a license for anything that you download and purchase from their site. So if you are their monthly member, then you can use anything to make and sell. You have a license to do that. And that is a really awesome thing. So you could make stuff like these printables, put them on Etsy, and sell them to make a income that you don't have to hardly work for. All you got to do, make them, put them on Etsy, you're good to go. So I have a special offer. If you've never tried Creative Fabrica before, you can try Creative Fabrica out for an entire month for $1. I will leave the link down below. Click on my link, go over, and you can try Creative Fabrica out for an entire month. And anything and everything that you download during that month, you get a license to for life, which is amazing. And to be transparent, I do purchase my own monthly membership to Creative Fabrica because I find it so valuable, but I also do get a percentage back when you use my affiliate links to purchase anything through the site. All right, for our fourth and final DIY of the day, we're going to transform this thrifted cutting board. So it was a decor piece, had that E on it. I just took that off. I'll save that for another project. And then I am going to use this napkin. I found this napkin at the Dollar Tree. I thought it was so pretty. I loved the colors and the flowers, and I really wanted to just use it on this project. I took the twine and I just unwrapped it from the top there, kind of leaving it attached to the back just because I thought it might be, easy to just wrap it back up and then add a little hot glue when we're done. So that's what I'm doing. And then this napkin, like I said, is from the Dollar Tree. So it is actually just a 2-ply napkin. Some napkins will have 3-ply, some napkins will have 4-ply. So you'll just need to check that if you're going to do a decoupage project with napkins. A lot of times the packaging will tell you how many ply it is, so then you're not kind of trying to guess how many you gotta separate. So I wanted to use the flowers on the top and the bottom of the cutting board. So I am just using a little water brush I have here. You can use a regular paintbrush with water or anything to just kind of tear this napkin apart. But when I'm kind of piecing it together in the middle like that, I do like to tear it because it comes together more seamlessly and you don't really notice that they're two separate pieces there in the middle. So I'm just flattening it down. Now, this method that I'm using will definitely create lots of wrinkles. There are a lot of tutorials out there on YouTube if you want to know how to do it so that it is less wrinkly. I like the wrinkles, and so that's what I was going for. And now everything's dry. I'm just going to sand off those edges, and basically that sanding block just cuts that tissue or that napkin like butter, basically. I mean, it's just super simple. So just go around all the edges and get that all off. Now I'm going to use some of the Waverly chalk paint in the ballet color, and I thought that would be really pretty and kind of go with our theme, or of, you know, the florals on our napkin. And so I'm just going to paint that on the handle. Now, if you wanted to, you could definitely paint your whole entire cutting board before adding your napkin on top. And that would, especially if you did like a light color like white, or maybe even this pink color, would really make those flowers stand out a lot more. But I really wanted that wood kind of color to show through, so I did not paint my cutting board. So like I said, we're just going to wrap that twine back up, use a little hot glue, and we're going to go. And actually I had to snip off just a tiny bit because I think I pulled it tighter than it was originally. So now I wanted to put on a little bag for some florals in the front of my cutting board. So I'm going to use this treat bag from Valentine's Day. I'm just going to cut out the strings that were here because they were that kind of nylon, weird, I don't know. They're just weird strings, and I just didn't want them with my project. It didn't go. So I'm going to replace them with some regular jute twine. So just using a darning needle, I am going to thread that through the front and the back of the bag. And it's two separate pieces, so I can tie the sides. And then I'm just going to flatten it out, make sure that the flap is nice and tidy, and then I'm going to glue the back flap down to the bag, and then I'm going to glue that whole entire bag down to my cutting board. So just be careful while you're doing this. Of course, the glue is hot, but also you don't want the glue to seep through and close your bag. So you want to make sure that you're checking that with your hands so that the glue, as it's cooling, doesn't seep through and close your bag up. Now I'm going to stencil on the front of my little bag here, and I'm using this stencil from the Dollar Tree. It is like a flexible stencil. It doesn't have any sticky on the back, so you do have to just kind of hold it with your hands, but it's such a small project that it wasn't a big deal. And then I'm going to use a makeup sponge, and I'm going to push that paint into my bag. And this is just regular acrylic paint, not fabric paint or anything like that, because this isn't going to be washed, so it doesn't have to be fabric paint. But I'm just going to really push that paint down into the stencil. Now, if you want to, you could use a paintbrush. I did not find this easy, but I did want to show you that you could if you didn't have a makeup sponge. It will take a lot longer. The makeup sponge just really pressed that paint down in it, and it worked perfectly. So I'll just go around the whole stencil until I'm done. And as you can see, it worked perfectly. I thought that turned out really nice, and I actually wasn't even sure that it would, so I was pleasantly surprised. And then I'm going to use that little paintbrush just to fill in those areas where, of course, you know, the stencil has to be connected together so it doesn't fall apart, you know. So you have to kind of fill in those areas unless you like that kind of stencil-y look. So now I'm going to add some florals to my little bag. Just these little flowers came from Michael's, some boxwood from Walmart, and then some lavender from Walmart. But you, of course, can add anything that you want into your little bag. And then I'm just going to tie one side into a loose knot so that I can kind of pull the other side a little bit tighter and create a bow. And then once I get that side done, then I'm going to undo the knot on this side, and then I'll really kind of pull and gather that front of the bag, and then add a little bow on that side as well. And that's all there is to this little project. I love it, and I think it is perfect for spring in your kitchen or anywhere you need a little bit of decoration. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, leave me a comment and let me know which project was your favorite. Also, make sure you hit that like button and comment so that you can get entered in for that giveaway. I hope you guys have a happy, healthy, and blessed day, and I will see you next time. Bye!